Hello guys, and thank you for joining me again for attempt number 2. Like I wrote here, I'm going to try and fly it more responsibly. We don't have the exact same weather, but it's very similar. I'll drag it onto the screen here for you guys so you guys can see. I just have to wait for explain to finish loading because it throws the active sky behind the screen, so I can't see it right now. Alden. My friend, this is a splash screen that I made myself. This was taken at LPPR, Porto, while I was flying there. But I will give you the link to the utility that you can use, and then you can add your own splash screens into your own X-plane. So hang tight. Sorry for my son screaming in the background, but he's obviously enjoying his own game there. These first-person shooters, how they are. Sometimes they kind of excite you. Right. Just grabbing that link for you. It's not on the org. The one on the org is old. I'm going to send you to Sergio's site. Sergio is the big boss at helisimmer.com, and he wrote the actual program that you're going to need. It's called X Splasher. So that is the link that you need, and what you do is you install it into your X-Plane folder, and then you just dump a couple of JPEGs or PNGs or something into a folder, and then it will choose whichever picture is next in line, or randomly, or whatever it chooses to do, and then it will substitute your splash screen for you. Good evening, Angel. Big hugs, big man. Thank you for joining us. I'm happy to see you on stream. But so once X-Plane's loaded, I'll show you the weather quickly. Let's see what we can see on windy.com. Maybe Windy will show us something as well. Right, so that's windy.com. That's Atlanta over there. So let's start from the beginning. Radar and lightning. That is the current situation of radar, and where it is showing us the probability of lighting and the occurrence of lighting. Then we've got the winds. Winds will be blowing against us, so we'll be flying against the wind. Rain and thunder. There you can see there's a lot of rain just on the outskirts over there. Thunderstorms, let's look at them. Those are the thunderstorms that we have to battle to get to our destination. So that's Atlanta at the top over there, and we've got Tampa down here, and it actually looks like we're going to fly into these things. We're going to do our best. You know what? If it doesn't work, we'll bug out to Orlando. That's our alternate, and we'll just go and land there and explain to the passengers why we didn't want to risk their lives. If they accept it, they accept it. If they don't, then we can't help them. All right, so clouds. This is our cloud situation and visibility. Some areas are quite bad. Right, so the one thing I did not do is I didn't obviously go through the layers. I know there was a place where I could do that, and I could actually specify the actual altitude to view these things. I'm not going to try and find it now. Maybe I need to be logged in. It's not important, but that gives us a bit of an idea what we're facing. Good, Angel. Good. Alden, you're welcome. Sis John, thought you were my buddy. Now you want to see how I deal with bad weather. But it's okay. I'll try my best. Yeah, wind is very powerful. I don't use it every day. So I know there was a way to set the layers, to say the altitude at which you want to see these things. But like I said, I'm not going to bother now. It is very powerful. Right, so well, Angel, we don't know what these altitudes are. I'm going to use the actual 738, not the 737 this time. And the reason we're going to change that, I need to change the screen at the top as well. The reason we're going to change that is I am looking for 2 bugs that was reported earlier, and I want to see if it is actual bugs or not. And then we could handle them as we get them. So there we go. I've changed. It's now 738. All right. Give me 1 second. Not what I want. I'm just looking for something quickly. Right, we'll look for that later. It doesn't matter. Right, guys, so without further ado, I'm going to start setting this baby up. We're going to fly for virtual Delta. Just to show you quickly what active sky is like. It's not entirely as windy is showing it, but it's obviously updating as we go on. So I'm really going to do a screen grab here for you, and then you guys can see what active sky is reporting. Alright, so that is our flight plan. I hate it when it pops up like that. We're going to miss quite a bit of what active sky is reporting. But for those of you that know active sky, you know this thing updates every 15 minutes. So in 15 minutes, it might look a little bit different. We'll see what happens. Right, let's get our doors open. And call our ground handling. John, are you on the channel with me?
I hope so.
Okay, cool. I'm just checking.
I'm just keeping a sharp eye on you.
Yeah, okay.
Ground to cockpit, plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you are ready.
So Angel, just to tell you a quick story, I did plan to fly this with a 7.3 until I was told about the errors, and so we switched to the 737-800, and that is why this value is so low, because we actually only provisioned for 122 passengers and not our normal passenger load. So it's going to be a light aircraft, light flight today. I never changed the passengers. I changed the actual airframe, so I know the fuel will be right, but I never thought of changing the passengers. Okay, so the takeoff configuration horn definitely works. Right, I'm going to start my smart cars for the VA quickly. Right, and we need to be on the ground for approximately 20 minutes to 40 minutes. 20 minutes minimum, so I'm using the clock over there to actually time us as well. Ah, Angel, that is a very good observation, my friend. I will definitely make a special note about that.
Adjust vertical speed. Adjust. Climb. Climb now. Climb. Climb now. Climb. Crossing. Climb. Climb. Crossing. Climb.
You're a spoil sport, you are.
Ooh, Uncle John is now upset. Angel,
Crossing.
you should have sent a private message.
Descend. Descend now. Descend.
Sorry, Uncle John.
now. Increase climb.
That's naughty. I got something fixed up there.
Descent. Increase descent.
I was wondering that redhead why she was smiling so much. Shame.
Monitor vertical speed.
Well, I'm not smiling anymore.
Shame, man. Sorry. Okay, if I forget to remove all the extra things off the screen, just shout at me, please. But
I'll
yeah.
let you know.
I think it's nice for you guys to see what I'm reading from and how I do the thing, you know. You'll pick up something somewhere, I'm sure. And guys, if you've got questions, please don't feel shy. Eh? Ask your questions. There's no such thing as a silly answer or a silly question. Sometimes they go both hand in hand and then we laugh together. We will never laugh at you, but you can also laugh with me, but don't laugh at me, kind of a thing. You know, we try and do it respectfully, but please feel free. You know, we don't judge anybody. Ask your questions. Alden, that's PFPX. It comes from my PFPX config, yes. Alden, if you look below the stream in the video description, you will find there's one small section that describes my private hangar with a little hyperlink. If you go in there, you will find everything that I share with the public, and one of the things you'll find in there is the OFP template that you guys see here, plus an explanation. I need to update the explanation, it's old. I've changed things. After speaking to my real world mentors and the guys teaching me how to fly this aircraft like in the real world, they've asked me to change one or two things. So I need to update it, but it's going to give you a good explanation that we can work from the next time. So everything is there. You can just go and grab it. I execute. Execute. We're landing 19. Right, we'll take the ILS because we don't want to take chances. Oh yes, indeed, I use Swift. It's fantastic little program. It's something that scared me in the beginning. It was not easy to install, so I had to watch a video to help me to get it going. Once it was installed, it was okay. It's okay. I've grown used to it and I love it. But it needs a lot of refinement for ordinary users. That thing is made for guys with programming skills or something. You know, it's not very user friendly.
Please note, even Nico looks at vids and documents to see how to do something. That's all he's ever asked for guys that come on the site when they want to know the answer to a problem.
Yeah, absolutely. If you don't move with the times and you don't read a lot and so on, you're gonna miss out a lot. So I'm just looking at my Navigraph quickly because I need to make sure I'm choosing the right config here. Fox 5. We need Fox 5 and Heaven. I need to update this. Where is this thing now? I can type the route. Let's start from the beginning. I'm just updating, sorry, Navigraph behind the scenes here, just to get it in line with what we want it to be. Alright, so the arrivals is Heaven on Fox 5 and the approach is ILS on 19 right. We don't want the by transition, that seems to be a problem. So I'm going to go to final. That's right. Okay, so we're going to skip this transition, the pi transition completely, and then we will be happier. Yeah, Angel. If you want, I can give you the link to the video that I watched to help me set up Swift, if that is what you're talking about, but I'm kind of scared to ask. Ah, here we've got a problem. Heaven. On it. So that one needs to be changed. Okay, we'll revisit that one just now. Do that. What will be the effect? Angel, what Zibo did approximately 6 months ago, I asked him to give us the ability to use the Navigraph or updated custom scenery airports. Because the way Zibo worked up until 3.7, up until version RC3.7, the Zibo only and solely relied on the Explain 11 default APT file. That thing is traceable back to the RNIC 2004 database. Now, in 2004, airports like Lemmy, LTFM, they didn't exist. Even Johannesburg International was still FAJS. Today it's called FAOR. And what happened was the guys obviously kept on getting issues where they want to fly to one of these airports and it can't see it. It can't find it because it's not in the database. FAOR, whoever wrote that scenery seemed to have been clever enough to bypass the issue. Don't know how he did it, but we've been able to fly to FAOR. But LTFM and Lemmy are two ones that you just couldn't fly to. It just didn't exist. So what happened was in 3.7, Zibo enabled his brainchild here, this aircraft, to actually read the custom airport information. But the only way to get it into the Zibo is you need to delete the airport and the runway DAT files that are in the Zibo folder. And that is what you saw and what you heard. Once you've deleted them, the actual aircraft will then go and rebuild the database. This goes for the 700, the 800, and the 900. In actual fact, I'm lying. Sorry. It's only for the 800 at this point in time. The 700 and the 900 needs updates. They're not on the same level yet. So in the 800, you can do it so long it will then pick up. I don't know what he did. He's the programmer. It will pick up what is necessary to get those airports in there. I have not tried it. I've deleted the files, obviously, as a good boy. But I haven't tried to fly to any one of those airports to see if it actually picked it up and if it's working and so on. Alright, there's an interesting
He's actually waiting for me to try and fly to Lemmy again.
Yeah, you have to. And then we need to see where it's falling apart and what we can tell the boss. Right, so there we've got vectors. I'm going to keep the vectors like a good boy again, but I'm going to step through this again in a bit of a bigger scale so we can see what we're doing. Okay, that all seems fine. That seems fine. Everything is perfect. Hello, George. Welcome on board, buddy. Thank you for joining us.
Evening, George.
Right, so next step. Let us see.
Angel, be careful. He's very shortly going to be senior captain.
It's almost time, yes. Almost time. Something like that, Angel.
Stripes even, as opposed to strips.
Right, let's do this. What are we looking at? We are looking at the wrong page. We've got 2.7. Let's make that 2.8 on our flight. Our reserves will be 2.3. And the cost index is going to be
Pleasure.
20. Awesome, George. Right, we're going to fly at 310. We don't want to climb too high. It's a short flight. We're going to do 205 at 14. And we've got a 10-degree deviation there, so I'll enter that. Hmm. 40 degrees today, and we're going to do a proper climb. And I'm not going to do all the advanced stuff, guys, just as a matter of interest. No point in doing all that right now. When we do a training flight, we'll go into page 2 and do all the fancy things. Right, so that takes care of a couple of things for us. Let's just check our V speeds. 35, 36, 41. We missed just one. Very accurate, very, very accurate. Oh, goodness. We've lost our ground crew again. Shame.
Question, Nick.
Yes. George, you find it this way. On the OFP, I'll bring it up on screen quickly again. On the OFP, you've got the top of climb ISA deviation. It's that one. That's highlighted over there. That's your ISA over there. On that page, for that page, right? When you go and you do the descent, you need to do a calculation. I'll show you that quickly. In my private hangar, and again, the link is in the video description below the stream. You can find the link to my OneDrive, my private hangar, and then you will find this. I'll show you this. It's just starting up. In actual fact, I'm going to show you both of my calculators while we're talking about it. So let me quickly do a screen capture again. And let's get rid of the Adobe. Alright, so in my private hangar you will find this. This is the ISA calculator. So basically what you do, and this is for the descent page. Now that you've asked, I'll use it in the descent page. Alright. In actual fact, we can do page 2 now that we're talking about it on the previous page as well. So let's just keep it simple. What you do is you use the airport elevation. You use the current temperature, and then there's a mathematical formula. It gives you a ISA deviation temperature. So do yourself a favor, go into my OneDrive and download this little utility, and then you have it. Then you can work it out. But for the takeoff phase, you're definitely going to need the OFP to tell you, and that is where that little value comes into. That is your takeoff side. Right. Then let's go back to that page 2. Right, so on page 2, this is where we get our flap speed and everything. So what we would generally do, I don't know if it's going to allow us to clear it now. Yeah, let's delete it. Alright, so you can fill in all of these things, and then you go to page 2. What you are then going to do is you're going to obviously use your charts to get the first information, and you're going to use your weather. So from active sky, I know that my wind is 080 at 6 knots. So we put in 080 at 6. That's our runway winds. Then we're going to look at our actual chart. If I can find this thing. Oh, there we go. Right, so on the chart, you're going to find out that your runway heading, and you have to use a slash because it goes at the back, forward slash is 095 degrees. And then what you do is, now you need to be clever again. What you do, You see how you now use the second calculator, which is this one. Right, and what you do is on the chart, let's drag that on there as well. On the chart, it shows you right there, elevation is 1019 on our side where we're going to start, and the elevation on that side is 977. All right, so it shows you on the chart, so you will put in the information 1019, and then the end where we're going to take off from is what, 977. The runway length is in feet, and that's also on the chart. Let me just bring it back. So you'll see there 12390. And when you do the calculation, it tells you that it's a D for downhill, and it's 0,3. So what we do is we type in D 0.3, and this takes care of, you know, this page. If it was raining, you could now set it to wet. If it was snowing, you will put it on the anti-skid for the snow. And today it's dry, so we're going to leave it at dry. Now you go to the next page and you will get the appropriate values. Let's go back to our little Adobe reader thingamiding, and let's have a look. See, look what's happened now. Somebody asked the other day if the winds and stuff is really a factor. Let me prove it to you. Zibo has actually worked it in that it does have value. Let's have a look at this. Where's my Adobe? Remember I said to you we were out by 1. I think that was 136, then 37, and then 41. All right. So look how it's changed now. Now we've got 135, 37, and 41 because we've actually entered those values, and it's brought that to us to 135. We're still out by 1 on VR, but it's changed from where it was, and then we've still got the V2 at 142. So in other words, the values at V1 and VR did change, and it changed because we actually used this page. So if you were wondering if it's got any value, it does have a value. Alright, another thing with Boeing that you guys might or might not know is anywhere where you find a dotted line. I don't have dotted lines to show you. When you find something that's got a dotted line, you do not need to enter the information. The Boeing is clever enough to not use it, or not need it actually. It's clever enough to use it when it's there, and it's clever enough not to need it when it's not there. When you see anything that's got a block, an opening that's a actual square block, that is a absolute requirement. You cannot fly without entering that value. So guys, always remember that rule of thumb when you set up the Boeing. When you get to something that's got a dotted line, it won't kill you if you don't have it, but it might scare the hell out of you. That's one thing for sure, because if you don't put the right information in there, we all know how it works: garbage in, garbage out. So I prefer to do it properly, you know, throughout, but that other rule of thumb is there. Alright, so let's quickly look. We are at 23 minutes. We need to move our butts. We're going to be late.
Turn on the fasten seatbelt sign. Please recheck the security of your seatbelt.
Yeah, sterile cockpit. We need a sterile cockpit. Right, so while the APU is starting, I'm going to quickly just skip ahead and do a couple of other things here so that we don't waste time. Circulation, That's fine, that's fine. We're gonna do 310. And I think that should be on 0. Let's just quickly check the elevation. Yeah, that can remain on 0. Elevation is 26 foot, so that's a negligible value. Right, so now we can get the packs going and the APU bleed going. We can actually leave you on open right now. Right, so we can check the volts and amps, make sure we've got life over there. And then what we will do is refer back to the checklist for the next stage. Right, VNAV, LNAV is armed. That means that our FMC is properly set up and we did not forget the FO flight director, and also we're not using a heading departure on a vector, so that's perfect. Okay, you are all settled, you all done. Right, let's close all our doors. And I am using shortcuts, by the way, so I don't have to page to the doors page every time. Right, ground services, better pushback, request pushback.
Grounded cockpit, tow is driving up.
Alright, fuel pumps can come on and beacon light can come on. Electrical hydraulics can come on. Then we'll wait for the pushback before we release the passengers, the pack switches. And one thing we didn't do in our haste now is check the QNH. What is our altimeter setting? 2993.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of
Right, everybody's strapped in, everybody's okay.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
Right, so the weather is cleared up quite considerably, but we've got a very, very large warning about wind
Connected,
shear.
bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Right, so let's get rid of the packs. Let's go to auto and let's get a move on.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
Thank you very much. So our biggest threat right now is the wind shear. Where is that display capture? Let me show you guys while we're waiting for engine startup. There you go, there's the wind shear warning, and we're going to fly right through it or around it. Tonight, I think we're going to fly around it. What I did was, since last night, is I actually halved the wind shear strength in the active sky settings. So I won't do it to us all to try it tonight, to fly through it and see, but the potential is there that it might not be as harsh, obviously halving halving the settings there. Guys, I hope you are all buckled up, that you guys are happy, you all settled at the back. I'll release the lady at 10,000 foot to start bringing you peanuts and cokes and whiskies and beers or whatever you need.
Operation complete. Go ahead and set the parking brake.
Brake set.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Alright, so the current wind is only 6 knots. That's heartwarming.
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the left. We'll see you next time and have fun up there.
George, I'll try my best. Thank you. There is our pin, so we can get going. Mind, guys, I'm coming through.
Okay, the cabin is secured. Have a good flight.
Right, so we are configured and we're gonna go roll onto that runway and get going fast. Yeah,
09 left.
it happens, it happens. The noise on the throttles. I've tried to set the throttle noise lock in the tablet, because you can
On
set it there.
runway 0,
But every
9
now and then I
left.
see I have to lift it another notch, you know, but that's okay. It's okay for now. Toga. There we go.
E1, rotate. Positive grade.
Gear up. Come on, A, gear up and off, and RTO off. Ora. Yeah, after last night, my friend, that would help. Right, so last night I did not have active sky on my screen, and I obviously missed all the safety clues. Tonight I've got it on the screen, and you won't believe it, that wind shear warning is gone. She left us. Gone. So Ora, hopefully not too much shaking and stuff going on now. Should be much easier than last night. Ooh, look at that band of bad weather there to the left. Wow. Right, guys, you're free to get up. The galley is fully stocked, so if the trolley dolly doesn't get to you quick enough, please help yourself.
Escobar, please.
You can say that again, George. Escobar has got the most frequent flyer miles ever, I tell you. Yeah, I've often wondered if it's just one Escobar or if the wife and the children are involved, or how does that works. I'm mile roller for sure. I sometimes get the impression that it's ooh, I forgot about my transition. I sometimes get the impression that it's the whole family, that they're not just talking about one person because he's just all over, or she, or whatever. What about the luggage? What on earth are you on about the luggage? Oh, yeah. Yeah, nowadays, if they don't find the passenger, they don't take the baggage at all. They just throw it out. You know, if the traveler isn't there, the baggage doesn't go on. Maybe somebody forgot to amend the manifest, you know. Poor lady still looking for him. He might not even be here. Yeah, shame. Well, it looks like we are largely above the weather, whatever there is. We're above it.
Thousand to go.
Yeah, but then it is arranged. The fact of the matter is, the passenger is still tiable to his baggage. If the passenger just simply is not there, there's nothing to convince anybody that it's not a bomb, that thing doesn't travel. We have an airport here. It's called Lanceria. The ICAO designator is Foxtrot Alpha Lima Alpha, and it's close to Johannesburg. The runway is too short, so in summer, when the 737-800s are fully loaded and they have a Y189 configuration, so they can take 189 packs, When they're full, the baggage don't get loaded. It actually gets transported to Joburg International and then gets flown down from there, just to allow the aircraft to take off and operate from Lanseria. Yep, Angel. That is true. Yeah, the density altitude here is a problem because Lanseria is at, I think, 4,500 or 4,450 foot above sea level, and Joburg is like 5,560, approximately 550, 560. So density altitude here is a problem, also for the reason that it gets very hot here. I mean, typical summer's day, you're talking anywhere between 30 and 40 degrees Celsius. So yes, Angel, this is for Delta Virtual, so that's why I'm not flying the Skymatics colors and I'm actually using the Delta livery. So very definitely a VA flight. There's my smart cars. You can see it's tracking me at this time. I also noticed that they are releasing a smart cars upgrade soon. So this is version number 2 and they're talking about a version number 3 now. George, I'm using X Camera. X Camera is this little program that you see running at the bottom here. Let me get rid of this widget quickly. Right, so that's X Camera, and then I can select where I want to be in the cockpit or in the cabin, and in the cabin I can then set up different views. So now I'm in a seat. I can go to the back or check the engine. So I can click around here, or I can then go to the orbits. I've got different orbits. This is the normal air orbit, and then I've got a ground orbit. In fact, 2 of them. The one is closer than the other one. Angel, no, I'd never connected to VATSIM. I asked a couple of guys to come and fly with me. We wanted to, well, I wanted to do VATSIM, but they were all already flying other routes. So I did not connect. I didn't bother to go online now. Next week, what we're planning is next week, I think next week, Saturday evening, we must make a big group flight, especially with the new group members if we can. Get all the Zibo guys together, and if we can get 10 or 20 guys flying together on VATSIM, that will be awesome. And this has got a very nice flyby. Check out this flyby looks like. It's unreal. It's very nice. Now that is a flyby. That's awesome. Excellent, gamer. Yeah, it almost looks like we're using a drone to film that, eh? Oh, this particular one is for me, the way I set my flight up from Atlanta to Tampa is about an hour. Let's quickly get the OFP here. Let's have a read. Let's see. My airtime estimate is 1 hour and 3 minutes, so it's not that long. That's why I only climbed up to flight level 310 because I don't want to just go up and come down again. I wanted to have a bit of a cruise. I forgot to make my announcement.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, the seatbelt lights off. You're free to move about. Once you are seated, we recommend you keep your belts fastened. Thank you.
And that's that. Seatbelts definitely off. Oh, I didn't see a video like that, but I know of plenty of such incidents. Right, so we have 160 nautical miles to go. That will take us to top of descent. George, what you need is, I presume you're talking about VAMSIS there. You missed the M, but I think you're talking about VAMSIS. I need to give you the list. Where is that list? Hang on, I can get it from VAMSIS quickly. Yeah, list. Okay. Not what I wanted to do. What happened here? Let this thing copy. Okay, this list does not want to copy. Give me a second. Let's see, how can I get this to you? Oh, I can take... No, but that's stupid. I don't want to take a photo. I'll figure it out just now. Give me a second. Copy. Paste. Alright. George, I'm gonna have to figure out a way how to get this to you. Oh, you know what? I can take a screenshot. It's not gonna have the same value, but I'm gonna take a screenshot anyway. You'll unfortunately just have to retype the URLs, but I'm gonna give you the whole list, and then you can decide which one you want to fly for. Right, so this is the whole list of all the VAMSIS virtual airlines. So you can pick and choose which one you want to add or not. That is the websites that you go to. So you go to the website of the particular VAMSIS airline that you want, and then you just join from their website, and it will then add it to your VAMSIS collection. I hope that helps, George. Yeah, Angel, I see the cells, but they do look below us. One of the comments I made last night was you can't tilt the weather radar, so you can't really say above, below, in front. But this looks reasonably in front. If I look at the actual screen here, it looks like we're gonna go over them. Okay. Good luck with that. I fly for quite a few of them. Let me put that list up for you again, and you can see. Yeah, of course, as long as you can see blue. Right, that is my list of VAs that I fly for. And I use Ryanair, Delta, and Virtual British Airways. Those are the Boeing guys. British Airways have mainly, in the rest of the world, got rid of all their Boeings. They still use Boeing in South Africa. We've got the Maxes, the Max 8s, the 737-800s, all operated here in South Africa. But for the rest of the world, they mainly use Airbus now. Angel, you remind me now. Blue is up, brown is down. Hello, Mr. Dale. George, one quick note. I forgot to say this. Yeah, don't do that. Angel, you can't swear on my stream. Change that to bull dust and I'll allow it. One thing I forgot to mention to you, George, is cargo lux. I actually don't. Oh, yes, they are. They're called virtual cargo lux. They are not laid back. They are full of nonsense, and if you can stomach their nonsense, you can join them. But I did not have fun. They kicked me out within a month or two. I couldn't handle them, and they couldn't handle me. Yeah. Yeah, my stream is pet friendly and child friendly, so I stop the normal profanities. So you live and learn. I do. Right, so let's do this top of descent planning thing. Right, first thing I'm going to do is grab a pen and paper and then listen to the weather.
Kilo, Tango, Papa, Alpha, airport information, Oscar 1553, Zulu, weather, wind 196, at 13, gusting to 18, visibility 10, sky condition, few clouds at 2,000, 100, 7,000, scattered 1,000, scattered, temperature 30, 2.26, altimeter 2996, advise on initial contact, you have information, Oscar.
Thank you. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab hold of my charts and I'm going to get the ILS information. Show the chart overlay. Right, so we're going to descend to 2000. Right, that's 2000. Our minimums for today on the ILS is 200. And that thing counts very fast. 200, QNH 2996. And then we're going to do the initialization the reference page. Right, INET reference. Flaps 30. Glide slope is on. Then we're going to go to descent and forecast. Transition level is 18,000 because that is America. Now this is where that other calculator comes into play. So I'm going to drag it onto the screen for you guys. And then we're going to look at the data. Right, so it's asking us, ooh, this is the wrong one. Apologies. Let's get the right one. Right, that's our airport ISA deviation calculator. So we're going to look at airport elevation on the chart. Tells us it's 26 feet. The current temperature we heard was 30, and that gives us ISA deviation of 15. What we're going to do is we're going to add in there 15. Oh, and by the way, remember what I said to you guys about the dotted lines? None of these things are a requirement. It's a nice to have, and obviously the Zibo is going to use it and it's going to influence the VNAV, but it's not a dead requirement. Alright, what is very much a requirement in my book is your transition flight level. You need to put that in so that your altimeter will remind you to switch from flight level to your altimeter itself. Alright, right, so we're going to say 15 on the ISA. The QNH or the altimeter we were told is 2996, so we're doing the / 2996 because it needs to go into that position. And I forgot we have to put a dot when it's the inches, 29.96. Alright, just a different way of entering it, same story. Then what we're going to look at is, I'm going to stop the display capture and go to Adobe now. Where's my reader? We're going to find the wind information. So we're going to enter 230. It's the first flight level, then 17,000 foot at then 11,000. 253 at 11. 255 at 16. And 230 at 23. And then we're going to execute it. That takes care of the FMC. Thank you so much, Phil. Enjoy your Formula One as well. And yeah, catch the stream later when it's on video. Give it a couple of hours to render properly. And we'll catch you next week on YouTube. And remember, in the week, I'm on Twitch. Okay, so top of descent is creeping closer. And what we now need to do is set up our ILS information. We're gonna go back to our charts. .187. Localizer is 108.5. Right, that takes care of the ILS. We can then go to the auto brake 1. I want to see the length of that runway. Oh no, that's a long runway, 11,000 feet. So auto brake 1 is more than enough. How's it, Craig? Yeah, I'm doing well, thank you. On my way into Tampa, the flight that I was supposed to complete yesterday, I'm doing now. And we haven't had the same scare and crash as yesterday, so all good. We've got weather, the radar is lit up, but it's not in our immediate vicinity. Okay. Yeah. Craig, you need to click the WX button. That is obviously to switch it on, but you need a good amount of water. It's not going to light up just because there's drizzle. You need a fair amount of water for the actual radar to light up. Okay, alright, fantastic. George, I have no idea what happened to John. I'm thinking he fell asleep, to be quite honest. I don't know. I've sent him private messages on both platforms that I have private communication with him. There's no response. I've dragged him back into the room here to maybe try and get him to hear that we are talking of him, about him, to him. But I think he's fast asleep. Or he's watching something on TV and he forgot that he was with us. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, he's been flying like a madman. I'm so proud of him. Oh, there he's moved. He's moved out now. The system kicks him out because there's no response on his microphone. I hope he's okay.
He's probably having a snooze, Nico.
He's been working really hard at his ranking on Ryanair. Really hard. He's flown a lot, eh?
I think he's number one in the
Yeah, he is.
number one in the rankings.
Yeah, he's been there. This is his second or third day already, eh? I think it's his third day.
He's doing very well.
Yeah. I'm proud of him. Really proud.
Hey, good afternoon, folks. From the cockpit, starting a slow descent at this time. We would like to ask you to return to your seats, fasten up your seatbelts for the duration of the flight. Been a pleasure having you on board with us. Thanks for flying with Delta today. I can fly attendants. Go ahead and prepare the cabin for our arrival, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have begun our initial descent. At this time, we ask that you kindly begin to recheck the security of your seatbelt. And if you've removed any items from the overhead bins, please begin to restow them at this time. Please check around your seating area and the seat pocket in front of you for any cups, glasses, or other articles you wish to discard. And kindly hand these items to the flight attendants as they make their way through the aisle.
Craig, and are you still flying for Ryanair Virtual? And how is that going, if you still are?
Yeah, it's going well. I've done about, I think I've done about 4 hours with them now, 4 or 5 hours. I've only just started in the initial
Okay.
stages, but yeah, I'm doing well. It's pretty easy to set up, and you know, it's a nice, smooth platform. So yeah, I'm really pleased.
Great stuff. Good to hear.
I think it's just all about time, isn't it? You've got to dedicate a lot of time.
Yeah. But what is nice about the VAMSys airlines is in the smart cars, there is a checkbox that says paused on top of descent. So if you really want to fly and you can't be there, you can set the flight up in the morning, go to work, come back at night, and then land it, and they still accept it. You understand? So the aircraft will run to a point and then it will wait for you. Which is something that I do a lot of times. Or I would set up a flight before I go to bed. It will fly through the night, stop. You know, stop at some point in time, and then tomorrow morning I wake up and I quickly land it.
Yeah, I've seen that option. Yeah, that's a good facility, I suppose, if you haven't got a lot of time on your hands.
Well, British Airways Virtual, not the one in VAMSys, the external one, the original British Airways. They don't allow it. You need to be in the cockpit to count. They test you every hour. There's a ping, and you need to either set your comm radio to a frequency, or you need to do a mathematical sum, and you need to give an answer. And that way they know that you are there. So you've got to nurse it the whole time. And then they also force you to do one flight every 30 days. And that can be a bother, you know. Because if you go on holiday and you forget, you come back and they've kicked you out of the VA. You know, goodbye, it's the end of the story. I still have my account, but I took leave. I've got 70 days worth of leave, and I just went on leave now. What?
Yeah, it's as I say, it's well, at least you got that option to do that.
Yep. Sorry, Craig. John has just apologized. He says he got an unexpected visitor. He's terribly sorry. He couldn't even tell us. It just happened too quickly. So, John, it's okay. We forgive you. Okay. Sorry, Craig.
No, I was just saying, flying on the Zibo 737-900 this evening. Quite impressed with the smoothness of it, to be honest.
Okay. I like to fly all of the Zibos, 700, 800, 900. The 800 is my baby. You know, I have spent countless hours working on supporting this thing and whatever. So it will always be my baby. Second to that, the 700 is like my little pocket rocket. I love it to bits. And then the 900. I must actually make a plan to fly the 900 again.
Yeah, it's handling superbly.
Ooh, look at that. We've got weather just on the other side of our flight path over there. We're gonna make it before we get to the weather. George, my friend, I'm terribly sorry. I lost track of the comments there. Apologies for that. I would not even know where that fits in now. So you obviously commented when you needed to and I didn't read it. I'm sorry. Mr. Dale, you get the 700 and the 900 from the Threshold Forum. Audiobird hosts it over there. So you need to search for the Threshold Forum and you need to join the 737NG Club. And then you will get all the download links there. If you give me a couple of minutes and I can just land this plane, I'll find it for you and I will give you a link. I just don't have it handy right now. Give me a minute or three and I'll get it for you. Thanks, George. Thanks for the forgiveness. It means a lot. I just lost track of all the comments there. I really apologize. Okay, Mr. Dale, I actually found it. Hold on. It's a big link, but there you go. I hope that link works for you. That takes you directly to the download page, but I presume from experience that you are going to have to register on the forum and join the club in order for you to actually be able to download. Okay, as we are coming closer to Tampa, I want to tell you guys a quick story. I have the pleasure of actually knowing the developer, Vertical Simulations. This is his freeware version, and the link to the scenery is in the show notes below. But he is actually working on a brand new payware model. And I've seen some of the development happening, and I can tell you one thing: it's going to be super awesome when it comes, to the shops. I think he sells via the org, obviously, and then he's also got his own Vertical Simulations shop. And if I look at what he did with the freeware one, and I look what he's busy doing, him and the other guys helping with the payware one, we're in for a treat. So that's a bit of free advertising for you, Vert. Amazing scenery, guys.
Please prepare the cab for arrival.
Alright, almost there, guys. You heard the captain. Put on your seat belts. Stow the tray seat upright. Let's get this thing on the ground. Going to use a bit of speed brake here because we need to start thinking about slowing down. After this waypoint, we're going to be on vectors. There we go. It's shift moved over to vectors now. So we have to use the heading select. Going to activate the V-lock so we don't miss our localizer, and there we can already see the glide slopes coming alive there. There we go, we've got both of them alive, so we can go to the approach mode. The moment your localizer and glide slope comes alive, switch to approach mode. Then we'll wait for the turn on to finals established on the localizer, and we'll drop the gear and go to flaps 15 when we are anywhere between 7 and 5 nautical miles from touchdown. Right, let us check our chart, see what our go around altitude should be. $3,000. Thank you, sir. Much appreciated on that wind check. I did not even think about that, but I can switch it on. Let's go for the flight path vector. Let's have a look. See there, it's on, it's enabled.
$2,500.
We had a baro change, and look at this. Where's the screen capture thing? Check that wind shear warning there of the our right hand side. So glad we're going to land, we don't have to worry about that. Right, so that's 5 nautical miles, geared down, flaps 15. And we can slow down to our approach plus 5.
Thousand feet, stabilized, Mr. Birch, altitude set.
Approaching 19 right.
Approaching minimums. 200. Minimums. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Welcome to Tampa, you guys. Yeah, I've got a special plan. I'm going to stand with my machine gun outside the door. We're only going to open one of the doors, and we'll check each one come out, and I'll have my aim ready. If he sticks his head out, we'll take him. Unless he bribes us and he gives us a lot of money to let him go, then it's okay. We'll let him go. Come now. Everyone's got a price, my friend. Everyone's got a price. Promise you, for $10 million, I'll pretend I did not see him. Right, so I have absolutely no idea where these guys park in the real world, so I'm just gonna mosey down the lane here and just pick a spot. Ooh, okay, alright, second chance. Almost thought I went in skew, but I see what they did. Poor guy, we don't want to blind him. Right, I'm just going to quickly log the flight for the VA, and then I'm going to do a replay or 3. So you guys are welcome to stick around a wee while longer, and for those of you that cannot wait anymore, thank you so much for flying with me. It was an absolute pleasure to bring you this flight, and we will see you next week on YouTube again, and in the week, if you're looking for me, find me on Twitch. Thank you so much again. Thank you, George. You too, my friend. Enjoy whatever it is that you do. Okay, not a bad report. Well, Angel, you're welcome to join me in the cockpit, but I'll tell you what, you can have my seat. You can be the captain during the replay, and I'll go sit by the window. So let's quickly swap seats.
2500.
Josh, if you had asked me a couple of weeks ago, I would have said to you, yes, I use JoinFS as an alternative to VATSIM and IVAO. I don't know what happened, but for some reason JoinFS has stopped working. I've tried to troubleshoot it a little bit. I'm not sure if it was enough time, because it obviously is still not working, and I haven't had the time to actually contact the support guys to ask for help, because that is the answer. It's always been the answer. We used to use JoinFS with great success for a long time, doing training and group flights. But my friend, I don't know what happened. Something somewhere broke, and now we're stuck. If we can get that thing going again, we will very definitely do JoinFS flights. Then we don't have to worry about the rules and ATC and all kinds of stressful things that you get with VATSIM. So bear with me. I'll try fix it. Hello, Warren. Welcome to the stream. There are a couple, but I don't like them, to be also quite honest. JoinFS, because it's a server that I can host and because it's in my control, is obviously my preferred choice. If I look at the struggle that you have to go through to get some of the other networks going, then to me it's much of a muchness. Then I'll rather struggle to get my JoinFS going again, because that is ultimately the answer. Wow, I've zoomed in so far, I don't even see the landing. We shall replay this a little bit. Well, excellent, Warren. I'm glad you made it. somewhere about there. It's okay, Yogi. It's okay. We made the flight from last night where we crashed and burned. We actually made it today. This is the landing at Tampa. We had lots of cells, lots of activity, wind shear warnings, and all kinds of things. But thank you, it didn't touch us. We are grateful. I actually enjoyed this flight. It was very nice. And the landing rate was 143 foot per minute, if you were wondering, 143. Warren, go for it. Shoot. Tell us, what can we help you with? What is MGHT? Let me search that one quickly. Okay, continue with that question before I respond. Tonkaton. Oh yes. Oh yeah. For sure. That's a good one. Okay, it happens. No man. Now we can't see anything. Okay. Warren, unable cruise altitude has got a couple of reasons for happening. No, don't worry, Josh, don't worry. The first reason for happening is you're trying to fly too high for the route that you selected. Okay, I'll just hang in. My daughter just wants to ask me a question. Be back now.
Mic off. Mic on.
Sorry for the interruption there. Kids, when they need attention, they need attention. Alright, let's start from the beginning. The unable cruise altitude happens when you are flying too high. If you are flying a route where your air time is, let's say, 1 hour, you cannot possibly expect to fly at flight level 370. The aircraft's not going to reach there. Alright, so you need to compensate. For 1 hour, typical flight altitude is between 25 and 31,000. So depending on whether you're going east, west, north, south, you will then choose your level. So that's the first reason. You're trying to fly too high for what's allowed. The second reason is you are too heavy. You need to do a step climb. You need to start with, let's say, 250 or 310 and then step climb up to 370 or 390 or 410. If you are trying to climb too fast, it's not going to allow you. So your weight is very important. And a couple of versions ago, there was an issue, and I spoke to some of the guys on the team, the developers, and they gave me a whole story about it to refresh my memory as well. But also, Zibo was and is porting the aircraft from the script language over into C++. So there has been a couple of instances where there were coding issues. To my knowledge, and at least on the routes that I fly, the coding issues has been removed. So what I would suggest is you need to supply me with the actual OFP that you used, and this is the OFP. Let me show you. Where is my broadcasting software? All right, okay, but I need the whole OFP. That sounds good, that looks good, but I need this whole thing that you see on the screen. I need this whole thing because I need to see the weights, I need to see the actual flight route, all those kind of things. Then I can go and fly the route with your specifications and determine, you know, whether it is procedure problem, weight problem, distance problem, whatever it is. And if it is a problem, I can then obviously tell the team, listen guys, there is another route that's giving us issues, please have a look at it. But that's the best I can do. The first instinctive thing is that any Boeing in real world awesome should give some other limits, so you should get that error at one point or another in your flying career, and then you need to be able to discern what's causing it. But that's the best I can do, you know, is try and refly it, see if there is really a problem or not. Oh, another thing that I just thought of, airways restrictions. I know a lot of simulator pilots don't care for airway restrictions, but if you actually use a program like PFPX, it will tell you if there are airway restrictions. And if that stuff gets implemented on your route in the Zibo, it's also going to block you. It doesn't say to you, hey, listen, sucker, you chose the wrong altitude. It's just not going to work. I don't think the logic is there yet to tell you exactly what the problem is. So it could very well be that there could be airway restrictions. I'm not sure to what extent Zibo's actually implemented that. So that's like just off the top of my head there. Well, here we are, so we might as well shut down now. Terminate. Hello, David. Warren, I hope that answered your question. If you can send me that details, I'll try see what I can do. But more than that, I can't really say at this point in time. Angel, no, we'll do that. Okay, but Warren, don't struggle too much. If you really struggle, come to Facebook, talk to us. Let's then work together, alright? Facebook, send it via Messenger. Are you a member of the Zibo community? I've never even heard of that server, X Flight server. I'll go check that out. Ooh, They say that they've had a server crash and they are having to recreate the whole project from scratch. So that one's offline for now. Out of bounds, not gonna help us. I must just fix my join FS. If I can fix my join FS, we can fly. Do you have Facebook, Warren? Oh, you know what? You know what you can do? That's it. Yeah, I've just been there and they say it's offline. They had a server crash. In the Google search already, it told me that. Warren, what you could do is you could go to my YouTube channel where you are looking at the video right now. Just go to my actual channel and go to the About section. My email address is there. You can email it to me if you want as well. I never remember that there's such a thing as that. So forgive me, it took me a minute to remember that. But you can mail me. Just go click on the link there. Otherwise, Facebook. That wind shear is still there. Okay, well, guys, if there isn't anything else I can help you with right now, I'm going to retire for the evening. It is now Sunday evening, 8 p.m. local time, so it's a good time to start thinking about sleeping and work tomorrow. So thank you so much again for joining me and even watching the replays with me, and bye-bye for now.